Welcome to our weekly visit with people who are creating immense possibilities for healthier communities and solutions to all kinds of challenges. Generally, when we talk about community, we're talking about a geographically tight location, an area you could walk through or perhaps cycle through in the course of a day, but that's not always true. Tonight, we want you to meet two people who left their Southern Oregon homes to serve the global community. One tells us that when he came across a refuse dump near the border of Thailand and Burma, what he saw was opportunity.
Well, sometimes that opportunity comes to you. It doesn't always come at everyone, but there it was, right in front of me. And I was really more fascinated or interested in, well, could an individual make a difference? How do you approach this? It's a problem. And if you're a problem solver, this was one that needed to be solved or looked at. And when I saw people eating food out the garbage was when I decided that, well, I think we can do a little bit better than this. And that's when I decided that, well, this isn't really good enough.
It's video footage from the Thai-Burmese border, which is home base to a project called Eyes to Burma. And it's a pleasure to welcome to the program a Southern Oregonian who is the founder, director, manager, fundraiser, chief cook and bottle washer for Eyes to Burma. He is Fred Stockwell. Fred, welcome to Immense Possibilities. Very good to have you here.
Thank you, Jeff. Nice to be here.
So you're traveling in Southeast Asia. You're a professional photographer with a career of aerial and other kinds of photography. And there you are, and you find this refuse dump near the Burmese border. How do we get from there to the program Eyes to Burma?
Well, as you said, I was a professional photographer. I was actually looking to pick up photographs in that part of the world for a website I was developing. And someone took me to the garbage dump. And I must admit, when I first got there, I was very shocked. I was very shocked at the way people had been so neglected and just left to fend for themselves in a garbage dump. That kind of shock makes you think, and you think, well, maybe I should do something. But of course, what do you do?
Well, you can't do anything. You're just a tourist. What can you do?
That's right. I'm just hanging out there, taking some photographs. But I was so taken, I was so disturbed by it. I actually felt ashamed that this sort of thing could go on 15 minutes from a major city. And the reason they were there is they are Burmese, living in Thailand, and they'd been literally bombed out.
They're refugees from Burma, their homeland, and this is very close to the Burmese border.
Within half a mile of the Burma. You can see Burma from where the garbage dump is. So these people have been, the Burmese army have come into their villages, burnt them down, bombed them out, they raped the women, they turned children into soldiers, and they men into forced labour. And then they'll landmine the village so they can't go back. The tragic thing is you've got children from 7, 8 years old working to survive in a garbage dump. Those images in your, when you see those things, you think to yourself, you know what, something should be done. It usually comes back to they should do something.
Somebody ought to take care of this.
Somebody should do this. Well, guess who got the job?
What is it about you that makes you know that you're the somebody or it's not going to get done?
I think a lot of it comes to your own personal situation. You know, not everyone can just pack a bag and leave, which is what I did. I came back to Ashland, sold everything, packed a bag and went. Worry about the details later.
What do friends and family think of that?
Friends were a bit concerned, wondering what I was doing. I actually had some very good people take me out to dinner with the intent and said, now, do you really know what you're doing? They were actually trying to talk me out of it. For 2 years while I was there, people were trying to talk me out of it.
You are there, you have been there 6 years now?
This is the 6th year.
And it's full time. You come back to the States for a couple, 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks a year.
And otherwise you were there all the time.
Yeah.
Now, how is it that people are making a living, some kind of living in that dump?
What they do is they scavenge for glass bottles, tin cans, plastic, anything they can put together that can be resold. They're actually some of the greatest recyclers I've ever seen.
Is it safe? Is there somehow an order that sets in the community?
There is an order. The security is actually within their own community, but the safety, for the first maybe 3.5 years I was there, we had a lot of police raids, and they'd come in, destroy the homes, and they'd all run. They've got nowhere to go. They can't go back, they can't go forward. All they know is scavenging. Children are actually born in the garbage dump.
What's the basic sanitation? I mean, I think I talked to you earlier, and you said it's sort of surprising how little disease there is. Is that right?
It is actually. There is no sanitation. One of the biggest.
And you're not a medical person, but you have a medical kit, and you treat wounds and whatnot as they come up.
It's basic first aid, but what's happened over the years, where people are getting to know I'm there, medics come through, and the medics are great. They teach me things I need to know, that they think I need to know. We're not taking anything life-threatening here, we're not amputations or anything, but there's things like skin diseases, diarrhea problems, and the diarrhea was one of the biggest problems we had. And when I worked it out, it was the water. Over the last couple of years, I've managed to put in there 500-gallon water tanks, and that they're continuously filled from a company outside that brings it in on a truck.
And it's somewhat expensive.
It's very expensive. It's
and
difficult to maintain.
You come here and you and people who support you do some fundraising, but I'm also told that you dip into your Social Security income to make ends meet here.
Absolutely. I can live very cheap there. That's a very big plus. Everything, I can support myself. I bought a truck, which I bought myself. But yeah, when things are desperate, and I think anyone would do the same, if these are people who are now friends, we're working together. So when there's a situation that comes up that needs to be fixed, I will dip into my Social Security.
I'm not sure about the everybody would do the same part.
There's 4 individual areas where they're located. You have to imagine it like a village. They will live mostly as close to where they dump the garbage, so that they don't have to go far to get it. And that drop-off point when they empty the garbage trucks, that can change. It's changed 4 times at least since I've been there. So what happens is when an area becomes established as a drop-off point, there'll be more houses around there. In the kind of work we do, this kind of work, there is no end. You just stop doing it. Or you just keep going. There is no end. There will not be an end for 1,000 years.
You're dealing with the side effects, the fallout from a huge international problem that isn't changing very much over time. And I would think it'd be easy at some point to just say, I can't solve this. I'm just dealing with the details, and get discouraged.
Yeah, I went through that. That was pretty rough for a while. You come home, and if you've achieved anything, what have you done? You've got no funding. You get over it. Because I think what happens, I know what happens to me personally. It just changes. What you wanted tends to come to you. It's like the kids are telling me what they're good at. I wanted to get this. It's like a big bamboo building. I really wanted to get a building off-site. It came to me. Things just tend to happen. I was always a person that felt if I wasn't in control and pushing forward, it's not going to happen. I've gone the other way. Let it happen. And it really happens. It works. So anyone that wants to get involved with this type of humanitarian work really has to stay with it. This is a job. It's every day.
It's really rugged physical conditions for someone who's relatively privileged and comfortable in their life, right?
It is. I mean, I've got a truck, 4-wheel drive truck. I have to rebuild the front end twice a year. And my knees need rebuilding right now as well. It's tough work. It's long. I've set up a system there where I can be called anytime, day or night, because we've got a lot of pregnancies or injuries where I just go straight over, pick them up, take them to the hospital or the clinic.
What keeps you doing this? It's 6 years now,
yeah.
Day after day, week 24/7, week after week. What fuels you?
I think it's a good question. I'm not sure I've got the whole answer, but I think a lot of it is when you start something of this, you think, what are you going to do? And as you start to solve these problems and move forward with them, you start to create more problems to solve. And as that's happening, the people that you're working with start to become friends. Now we're in a situation where instead of one roof being collapsed and they try to put a roof on for themselves, now we get together, I supply the materials, we all work together to get the roofing done. So the community, since I was first there, which was very bedraggled, it was very miserable, has risen a huge amount. I supply soap powder, now they can wash. Delousing, big thing, you know, it's horrible to be scratching your head all the time. We're doing delousing, so people are bringing themselves up. You're adding hope to life, especially the children. The children are absolutely adorable. And also to find out what they're good at. They love singing. There's an opportunity here to teach them to sing properly, to do music, teach them a computer, if they've got English skills. Now you're working towards a way to get them out of the garbage dump. They can get a job that's not, they can't get jobs in town because people know they come from the garbage dump. They're discriminated against.
They're a lower level of refugee?
They're a lower level, which I guess I can understand it because they're always dirty, they're always smelly. You would be if you lived in a garbage dump. That's changing. We're making terrific progress.
If someone says, you know, I really admire this and I can see how you found some meaning in your life. I'd really love to do something like that, but I can't because of X, Y, Z, and this entanglement and this obligation. What would you say to them?
Well, I think you can always find a reason not to do something, can't you?
Be with you again next week on Southern Oregon Public Television. Until then, I'm Jeff Golden. Please do what you can do.